Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. It is time to have a look at another ground vehicle that is coming out in the next major update, Storm Warning, and this is the BMD-4M. This is another premium vehicle that is coming to the ground tech tree of the USSR. It's an upgraded version of the BMD-4, but also a downgrade in other areas. It's a rank 6 battle rating 9.3 vehicle. You'll be able to find it basically over here. So it shares exactly the same BR as the standard BMD-4, and we'll kind of show you why that is the case. So the BMD-4M was made after the BMD-4, obviously, and it's upgraded in a few areas. First of all, you have an additional ERA kit to the vehicle. So if you install it, what it does is it adds a composite screen to the sides of the vehicle. You can see right here. It also adds some high hardness rolled armor as well, and just gives it a little bit more overall protection on the sides and also on the front. We're not talking about a lot of protection here, just a little bit in terms of the vehicle. Another thing that they've also done with the vehicle is they've changed its engine. The standard BMD-4, which I'll just stick here so we can do a comparison, the standard BMD-4 actually has access to a 450 horsepower engine, which is over here, and the BMD-4M has a 500 horsepower diesel engine, which is really cool. So it's got more horsepower, and generally that's quite nice. But it's not as mobile as the BMD-4. Isn't that weird? Well, they shipped out a few other things as well, unfortunately. The BMD-4 has a really powerful transmission. It's able to go forward 70 kilometers an hour. It's able to go backwards 70 kilometers an hour, whereas the BMD-4M basically only goes backwards at 20 kilometers an hour. So the acceleration that you have going backwards and the top speed is nowhere near the same as the BMD-4. Now, why is this? Also, this has an updated X-ray model, whereas the BMD doesn't. So we'll wait until that happens, and then we'll see how it goes. So why did all of this happen? Why have they upgraded the engine, but downgraded the transmission, and also added more armor? Well, one of the reasons why the BMD-4M exists is because they wanted to create commonality of parts between different vehicles. So if you have a look at the BMP-3, for example, which is this vehicle right here, you'll find the transmission and the engine is exactly the same as the one on the BMD-4M. So it basically means the production of it is easier, the maintenance of it is easier, the repair of it is easier, so you can just produce both of these vehicles much more easily instead of having two different unique engine sets and transmissions and everything else that you have to work on. So you get additional armor in this, you get some more engine power, but you actually lose the overall mobility. It's wild when it comes to it. So that's why it's more of a side upgrade than a full upgrade, which is why it's the same BR. Now, you have all of the other factors that makes the BMD-4M really good. You have the 30mm 2A72 cannon, gets itself APDS, so they still haven't given it access to APFSDS. You get the tandem warhead anti-tank guided missile, the 9M117M1, which is great for overpressuring things and also just great for penning things. You can also use this on the move, which is awesome. And then you have a HE shell too, which you're able to use. Even though it doesn't have a ton of pen, you can overpressure stuff and also do things like that. You're also limited on the amount of AT gems that you can bring. You can only bring 4 of them. So that is a bit of a limiting factor if you're looking to survive for a long time in the vehicle and use it more as of a scout instead of an aggressive vehicle, which is probably where it shines the most in this type of game. It's a bunch of smoke grenades that it has on the vehicle. Also, it has the thermals, which are actually really nice for it. For the gunner, it has access to the ESS, it has access to the laser rangefinder and everything else to make it a very strong vehicle at its BR. What it struggles with, though, as I said, is getting out of dodge once it's into it. Now, sometimes with the BMD, you don't want to do that. You just want to kind of go rampant and kind of create an advantage for your team and then push from there. But sometimes you do actually have to, you know, control a sector, and that's something that this is not very good at. It does have a crew of 3, the driver in the front, the driver's controls there too. You have the gunner and also the commander in the turret, plus the autoloader and FCS, which is here too. So generally you still have, you know, the same setup as it. Technically it's got less survivability because of the updated DMs that it has, but it's not going to really make too much of a difference. Once you get shot in the center of the BMD, you generally die. This is one of those vehicles where you just rack attack with the gun and also the ATGM to try and get as much done before the enemy starts shooting at you. And it can be very good at doing that in the game. Incredibly powerful at that. It has a really good targeting speed on the turret. You can see here it can actually go up to 60 degrees per second on the rotation. It has really good gun depression for what the vehicle is, and also has good vertical guidance too. You can see once again going very, very fast around the place. So this gun is able to whip around, smash things from the side, fire ATGMs, and just go a little bit crazy with it. And that's why I think a lot of people enjoy this type of vehicle, and also why it's been a very much sought after vehicle for the longest time. Because the BMD-4 was a Summer Landing 2021 event vehicle. There isn't actually a standard BMD in the tech tree, and the next one that they've added is a premium, which is kind of nuts. I thought that what they would do is make this a standard tech tree vehicle, but never mind. I suppose it's just going to be a premium. Should it be a premium? No, I don't think so. I think it would have been much better in the standard tech tree, and now we're just going to get more people complaining about the fact that this vehicle is not in the standard tech tree, and I, can't disagree with them. At the end of the day, it even said, I remember on the devlog for the BMD-4, that what they wanted to do was add more variants in the future in the tech tree, so therefore people could play them, but that hasn't come to pass. Unfortunately, what will happen with this thing is it will just be sat there as a premium that probably not a ton of people will buy unless they can't get their hands on the standard BMD, which maybe that's what Gadget are hoping for. If you are actually interested in Gadgenomics, one of the things that it is kind of interesting is once this thing was leaked, the price of the BMD-4 went through the floor because of the fact that it's a vehicle that isn't as unique as it was previously, right? So there you go. There's the ATGM. It does drop a little bit after you fire it, so you do have to be a bit careful with the trajectory, because what it does, so we were learning about this ATGM previously. What happens is it gets punched out of the barrel just like a standard HE would, and then after a certain amount of time the booster ignites on it, so it doesn't actually fire as it is going, which is it ignites in flight instead of in the barrel, which is just so weird to think about in terms of how it's set up. But yeah, the BMD-4 price went through the floor, but also this being a premium, it's still going to be a pretty expensive premium. I don't know whether they're going to make it, they're going to make it something which is a thingy premium, like a pack premium or a GE premium. My guess would be a pack premium, just to kind of keep it away from as many people's eyes as possible. But generally, it's going to be one which is still going to do very well. And being able to fire on the move, being able to hit stuff as you go, it's just going to have a great time. One of the things I will say with this upgraded version, it doesn't have access to the amphibious capability. So it's pretty much stuck on land. But once again, do you really think we're going to... not many people are floating in War Thunder. I know people always talk about having a bit of fun with it and stuff, but that's not actually something that happens. The vehicle should be fun though, and with the thermals it has the funny NVDs, but with the standard thermals it'll be good. With the gun, you'll be able to motor around the side and be able to take people out. Still waiting for those APDS changes, by the way, which will affect vehicles like this and also the Fox. But we still haven't had it yet because, well, they just haven't brought it in. Maybe in this update they will, so the rounds don't do as much crazy damage as they do, or it will just continue as it goes along. As always, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. I'd just like to thank GMG Smiley, CD Beans, Chieftain Mike, EMN3 Galaxy, Tulio Pontecorvo, Brendan Quinn, Carrion Crow, Gus Irenicus, Pyman, Wartinder, Teddy, Daniel Stanton, Martinez, B. Young, Ozzy Panzer, Alan Hacker, Liam Shear, Opium Prime, Lafouche, Sem Aslan, Uncle Bean, and Derek R. for supporting the channel.